Cheer up, baby. You're not alone.
It is so incredibly dark. Outside it genuinely looks like it's going to snow. It's raining right now. Not quite cold enough for snow, but it's freezing in this house. But yes, I'm having lunch, this massive bowl of leftover curry. Last night we made it. I made it using a recipe by Mina Rome or Romy, don't know how to say her name because I only see it written. She makes like really simple vegan recipes. So this is a tofu curry. It is delicious, like genuinely so good. We don't need ASMR of me eating, so I'm gonna hold the mic away. But I did think it was worth having a chat with you about Madonna in a fur coat because I started this yesterday, as you would have seen, and I'm already 58 pages into this. It's a modern classic. It's in like one of the Penguin Black Spine classics, which tricked me into thinking this was much older than it is, but it was actually written, I think it was published in 1943, but it reads like a contemporary book. The prose is not very kind of flowery. I wonder if it's because it's translated. This is translated from the Turkish. This book's been making its rounds on the internet, but I think that's purely because of the cover and because of the type of people who have been picking it up, who have probably been first influenced by the cover. But since it's become like a ridiculously trendy book, it's meant to be like a love story, but a kind of doomed, tragic one. So far, just fascinating, like really, really interesting. It's kept me hooked. Those 60 pages, I could have read the entire book in one go. That's definitely possible. The font in this is big. Like I said, the prose is extremely easy to understand. It just reads like this could have been published like a week ago. And I feel like that's so cool. This is definitely one I'd recommend as like a beginner classic. Sorry, my mic's been nowhere near me. So I'm going to continue reading that today. I don't want to finish it all because I want to kind of stretch it across this week. But I also should be beginning the Fellowship of the Ring because I'm buddy reading that with my brother. And we're reading 3 chapters a week just because he's a slow reader and we're both busy. But I do need to read my 3 chapters and I haven't started that yet. So I'm going to focus on that, I think, for now. And then we'll pick up Madonna and Fur Coat later. But like I said, really thoroughly enjoying. It's really interesting. It's following this man who is a little bit kind of self-entitled, and it's a lot about how people have an inner life. When you walk past someone on the streets, particularly someone who's not like your age group or your gender or whatever it may be. So if I walk by a man who was like in his 50s, the only part I'd have to relate to that is because like that's my dad's age. But aside from that, it could be entirely plausible for me to dismiss how complex his life is. And not only that, it's not just about people having a complex life, it's people having kind of hopes and dreams and a lot of substance within them, which obviously everyone has. But this man is young, he's 25, he's a bit, like I said, self-entitled and thinks that his self is much more interesting than other people's. So he's dismissed this man who works in his office, who he just thinks is uninteresting and unmotivated and good at his job, but like that's all there is, not aspiring to be anything more. Through, I guess, a little bit of curiosity, but also just circumstances, he starts spending some time with him, and while he's spending his time with him, he falls very, very ill. The man he's visiting, not the main character. As he's like on his deathbed, he asks this young man we're following to collect a diary which has been in his office drawer, and after some persuasion, the older man gives permission for the younger one to read his diary. And it's not just his diary, it's this like account of this relationship that the older man had in his past, and that is where I'm going to leave it because we don't want to spoil things. But yeah, so we have the present time of the older man struggling, potentially on his way out, and then this really interesting story that was like a bit of a mystery plot line, but it's mostly focusing on this relationship between this man and this painting, which is called Madonna in a Fur Coat, and I think will eventually lead to this artist who I believe did a self-portrait. I haven't found any kind of beautiful quotes or anything like that, but it does give you a lot to think about, and I think that this book has done well, obviously because of its cover, but also because of how accessible it is, which I think is great for a classic. I think it's okay to be drawn in by a cover as long as your reviewers are not then based on, like, you're not biased because of the cover. So like Deborah Levy trilogy, I love those books, but you know, the covers are beautiful. I'd heard about Levy before I even saw her books, so I was always interested in them. But if I had picked them up because of the cover, the parts I didn't enjoy about them, like, I want to be honest about that, and to be able to give a book with a pretty cover a bad review, or to just say that it wasn't my favorite thing in the world, because a beautiful cover is one thing in itself, because you can have it displayed in your room, on your shelves, everything like that, but it's not everything, obviously. And it doesn't automatically equal a beautiful, profound book. When it's a classic, you'd hope that the writing within would be not necessarily as beautiful, but definitely kind of perhaps a little bit more on par with the cover than maybe some other book. So far, this is good. It's not fantastic. Probably right now it's sitting about a 4. But yeah, the beautiful cover, really interesting story, and I'm definitely kind of hooked while reading it. There's never a point when I'm reading this when I feel like I want to put it down. But yeah, I'm going to go back to my curry because it's going cold. I've been chatting for 6 minutes. Highly recommend this recipe. I'll have it linked down below, as well as the channel I was talking about, because she's great. The tofu pieces you actually do in the oven, you kind of shape them like chicken. The flavour is obviously different from chicken, but the texture is near identical. It's amazing. So good. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to go back to eating my dinner and also editing my video because I just filmed that book on haul. Excessive, but I've seen them at every single tour they've done for the albums they put out, and they're onto their 3rd album, so it's only right that I see them again. I just did my nails for the concert. I wanted to go for something kind of like rock starry, you know, with the black and the silver. I'm going to go into London in the morning, meet up with my friend Abby, who I'm going to see them with. I'm super excited for her because it's her first time seeing them in concert. The next day is Valentine's Day, and I've got a little Valentine's thing in the evening. That's the plan. I've got my things all laid out on the bed. I'm not 100% sure on my outfit yet. I think I'm going to try them all on one more time, and I'm just waiting till my nails are 100% dry. Also, I did start the Fellowship of the Ring, and I am just under a chapter into this, so I've barely read anything, but so far it's just very like sweet and wholesome and humorous, so having the best time already. And I'm definitely gonna like read the majority of this, I think, once I get home on like the weekend, but I'm gonna bring Madonna in a Fur Coat to London because this is what I'm gonna be focusing on. Okay, so it is concert day, which would be really exciting and fun, except for the fact that my period decided to show up today instead of on Saturday, 2 days early, which it basically never is. It's usually late, if anything. Thriving, basically, because that was exactly what I wanted. This top is a long sleeve. It's actually from New Look. It's ribbed. I love it. I want it in like every single colour of the rainbow. Jeans are weekday. I wear these ones all the time. And this morning it was really funny actually, because I was, not funny, but I was struggling to do up the button, which is because I'm bloated because of my period. Kind of vintage looking jeans. They're really, really cute. Cardigan is M&S actually. Earrings, these are Under the Stories silver hoops. I wear these 24/7. Where are these from? I don't remember. If I remember, I'll have them linked down below. Yeah, this outfit's very, very basic, but I want it to be warm and comfortable. It is the top of about 6 degrees in London today, which means it's a low of like 2, so it is pretty cold.
Here I stand, waiting for the sun to soak the sand. Close my eyes and let the breeze dance.
I'm in search of blister plasters and ibuprofen. Yeah, I don't think we have them, which means my feet are just gonna have to survive.
Close my eyes and let the breeze dance. Even if this life is all pretend, I've been wondering for some time now. Stare into my mirror just to What's a dance floor with no music?
Okay, besties, in case it isn't entirely evident, I am deathly ill. And by deathly ill, I mean I have the common cold yet again. Why is it that every single time I vlog, I contract, develop, have a cold by some point in the vlog? I think it's because I've been overdoing it, basically. And I think that's what happens is I go out and I do too many things and I have too many late nights and I read too late. But yeah, I'm going out tonight again because the world does not stop for anybody. I'm in London all day tomorrow and I'm staying overnight and coming home on Sunday. And then tonight I've got like a little gig, which is like a friend of a friend is like got his gig. So I'm going to do that. I look so so sick. My brother said I look like the ghost of Christmas past. Or Christmas future, I can't remember which, but either way, he's not wrong. I've got some time to kill, so I thought it'd be good to have a little chat with you. Let me just grab the book. To round off this vlog, because I filmed every single other clip except for the one where I need to actually tell you my thoughts on what I read, and also to end off the video, because I can't just leave you hanging when we were doing a reading vlog. I guess I'll start with The Lord of the Rings. So as you know, I was reading Fellowship. I'm just reading 3 chapters per week with this one, so I'm up to chapter 3. Yeah, I love the writing. I think it's very, very funny. It's much funnier than I thought it might have been, actually. It's very gentle and sweet, and it's already had some beautiful quotes, like we had the iconic one. "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us," which is lovely. I'm just like plodding along with that, I guess. It's going well. And then this book I finished. Yeah, I feel like my thoughts kind of stayed pretty much the same, although I hadn't really read a lot of this book when I first gave you an update. The main thing I'd say with this is like this is such a well-rounded story, and I genuinely think that is both like obviously a very good thing about this book, but also I feel like a little bit of the book's downfall, or definitely what I felt was kind of bridging the gap between a 4 and a 5-star rating for me. So I did indeed give a 4-star to Madonna and Fur Coat. I feel like it's difficult to explain this without spoiling things. It's difficult to explain this thing. Oh my gosh. It's difficult to explain this without spoiling things. But essentially, we read the diary of this man. He's only 35, I found out. I thought he was much older than that, but he's only 35. So the younger man, who's 25, is reading the older man's story. It's about this love affair he has with this woman who he's desperately in love with. And she doesn't really reciprocate his feelings. And then when she does, things just don't work out for them. Obviously won't spoil things, but like the things that happened to both the characters I found were very, very predictable, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I just felt like with a predictable storyline you want there to be other things present in the book, whereas this just felt like it was, you know, predictable storyline, good writing but nothing kind of spectacular, and gentle, interesting characters, but you know, only as much as you kind of like create for yourself. There was nothing I could fault this book on, but there was also nothing that I felt like was like really, really excellent. I enjoyed the things that were brought up, but they were brought up kind of in passing, and I do still wonder if maybe the problem with this book was it somewhere within the translation. It's obviously very, very difficult for me to tell because I don't speak Turkish, and therefore have not read the original text, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this. I would recommend it, but I don't think it's anything profound, and I'm even debating if I want to annotate it, because I did mark it with like little dots in pencil to go back through and annotate, put it in my annotations, but I'm debating not doing that, because I wonder if there is a world in which in a few years I would pass this on to someone else. Is the book as beautiful as the cover? As its cover? I'd say yes and no. I think the cover kind of promises something, and we definitely do get this very touching love story and this tragic tale, these two people whose paths kind of crossed but never turned into what either one was really seeking, or maybe a little bit for a time, but definitely not ultimately. The other thing that really threw me off about this cover is that the main female character is frequently described as having very dark features, so dark hair, dark eyes, and this girl here has extremely light eyes. While I did kind of imagine the characters like this, I also didn't, so there's that. That's kind of relevant though. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed your time here. I hope you liked it. I love doing these kind of one book focused reading vlogs. They're my favourite thing to film because I love the vlog aspect of it, obviously, but also tying it in with reading, because that's like, you know, what my channel's here for. But it definitely allows me to add like a more personal touch and to talk about other things aside from reading, because obviously I am a multifaceted human being and books are not Oh, they're wonderful, but they're not everything. There's a Dumbledore quote. Is it Dumbledore? Should I try and find it? It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. That's not really what I meant. Maybe it's Gandalf. There's one about, like, Gandalf quote, map. The world isn't in your books and maps, it's out there. I don't know whether that's the official quote, but that is along the lines of what I'm trying to say here. Basically, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm unwell, and I am also tired, but I do have to leave the house in like half an hour. I've had an unreasonable amount of tea today. Thank you for loving books with me. Thank you for allowing me to talk about other things I love, and thank you so much for watching until the end if you happen to be seeing this, because that is truly the biggest thing I could possibly be thankful for. Wow, like the amount of people who click off videos. If you're still here, if you're still here, I don't know how to thank you enough, but I will still say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world. I'll see you so soon in a couple of days for another video, and very soon for another vlog as well. Hopefully when I'm not violently unwell. I'm so fine. It's just a cold. It's just lasting a little bit, which is unideal, but also something completely okay for me to be coping with.